Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires used to stand here until it was destroyed by a bomb in 1992. 29 people died in the blast and more than 200 were injured. Now, descendants of the victims have come together for the 21st anniversary in an awareness campaign to show the world that love can defeat even the most brutal attack. A long and intimate kiss. At the end, 3 words: love kills terrorism. The young man is Augusto, great-grandson, a victim of the 1992 bombing of the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires. Images of Augusto and his girlfriend can be seen on television, in the subways, and on the streets of Argentina's capital. They are part of a campaign launched by the Israeli embassy, marking the 21st anniversary of the terrorist attack.
Our challenge was to find a new way of telling the story of the attack and still be able to involve and capture people's interest in a tragedy that had happened a long time ago but cannot be forgotten.
On March 17, 1992, a suicide bomber drove a pickup truck filled with explosives into the Israeli embassy. The building, a Catholic church, and a nearby school were destroyed. 29 people died and more than 200 were injured.
We decided to look for survivors, families and friends of the victims to find out what had happened to them 21 years later and how they had coped with such a great tragedy. The stories we found are marvelous.
Raquel was 9 months pregnant when she took this picture. Her father, Ruben Cachato, was among the victims of the attack, but she gave birth to a baby on the 21st anniversary of his death.
This is life's way of getting back at the terrorists. Although they were marked with tragedy, survivors and families of the victims have moved on. In their way, they've defeated the terrorists. The purpose of the attack was to destroy lives. But 21 years later, survivors and families of the victims have not only moved on, but created new lives.
Carlos Osevich lost a daughter in the attack, but has found joy in his 12 great-grandchildren. It is important to show that all these people don't keep a grudge. They are still connected to life, work for peace, and for their communities. Many in this crowd were born after the attack, but they heard the story from their parents, and every year they return to the place where the embassy once stood to honor the memory of the dead and pray for justice.
I am here because I think it's important to remember and to tell what happened to the people of the world, and it has been a terrible thing that we have to remember.
I want people to remember so the young ones can know about it and then move it on to their sons and daughters so then people don't forget.
Mausi Myers died in the attack, but he left behind 30 great-grandchildren. They appear in the campaign, defeating hatred and bombs with their laughter and a pillow fight. The Argentine justice is still investigating the 1992 bombing of the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires. The campaign is also a reminder that although survivors and families of the victims have moved on, their tragedy is still very much alive. This is Monica Yanakiev for JN1 in Buenos Aires.